Well, hi everybody, and thanks for joining me here at G Bear's Off-Grid Ways, a homestead in the desert. Here's another episode. It's a short one today um, because I just finished up on some of the work I've been doing. The black wire coming down is a TV antenna wire that goes into where the TV is going to be inside of the new porch room. And I tacked it all into place, got all the drip runs on it. And that's something I wanted to mention. When you penetrate a wall with a wire for any reason, always put a U shape in it like that. And the reason for that is water will run down the wire. And if it just goes straight into the wall, the water is going to follow the wire into the wall. So you put a drip edge like this, so when the water comes down the wire, it gets to this point and then it falls. It can't go back uphill. So just remember that, and you see I've done that with all my wiring up there. That it's all set up that way so that we don't have to worry about water getting in. All right. So anyway, covered that. The other thing I forgot to mention was on this little bit of a first flush system that I put, the idea behind this is basically to take the first part of the water that comes off the roof straight down into this unit instead of going into the barrel where it's going to get sit there and get moldy and all that stuff. So anyway, just wanted to cover that part. Another thing was on doors. You'll notice that this has hinges on the outside because this is a temporary door. It's not going to be permanent here. I'm going to be using a regular door on here with a screen door here down the line. But for right now, this is the door I have just so that I can secure that room. When the hinges are on the outside, there's a couple of things that you have to consider. Number one is somebody could just
Location, Tajikistan. Class, light, magnitude, 4.4, 42 minutes ago.
I forgot to shut that off. All right, so anyway, what they can do is knock the pin out and then pull the door open, and they're inside without any big deal. Well, there's a couple of things that you do to prevent that. Number one is you can buy exterior hinges that have a set screw on the inside that when you have to open the door, and then you set the set screw with an Allen wrench, lock it down, and then they can't pull the pin. But these aren't that type of hinge. So a little trick that you use, a security trick, and is you see the screw sticking out there, and another one there, and another one down there. And I put a few of them in, and then you let the door close until you see where it marks the door frame, and then you drill a hole in there so when the door closes, that screw goes inside of the hole. Okay, so if somebody knocks the pins out from the outside and tries to pull the door open, they can't get it open. And why I like using these types of screws, these are coarse thread drywall screws, is because these are hardened steel, and trying to cut through them is not an easy task. So that's part of the security thing that you need to do when you have a door like this that opens outward if you don't have the secure hinges. All right, next I got my three-way light switch in here. See the lights come on and off? All right, so the lights are connected here. I did all the electrical runs in here today. Here's the other side, so turn the light off. So I have two locations where I can turn light on or off when I come into the room. TV, I got my small TV out here now because it's only temporary until I put the big TV there, but I didn't want to do that until I get all the walls closed in. So I just had this small TV here. I just hooked that up, and that's coming off of my homemade antenna. You can look in my videos and you'll see my homemade high gain antenna. That's San Diego TV right there, coming all the way up here to the high desert. So great little antenna, great little TV. And I wired the electricity in. I still need to get some staples and staple it before the boxes where it goes through and everything. And tomorrow I'll probably get into putting the furring strips on the wall, which is much like that piece right there. I just had to cut a notch in it to where the wire goes through. But when I add the new ones, I'll actually put a short piece on the bottom, long piece on the top, and they'll be pre-notched. So I did just wire nut the wires together. I don't normally put receptacles in because I use a roto zip to cut the drywall out when I'm installing drywall panels on this. And I'll have to take that receptacle out of the box for me to do that. So when I'm putting up drywall, so I just do a couple so I have electricity in the room. The others are all just wire nutted together like that, so it carries the current through from box to box. Now over here, I just put a regular receptacle in because that GFI right there on the windowsill is what goes in there. And the GFI will be hooked to the outside outlet. And that's so that when you're out there, if you get into the moisture in the or whatever, you don't get electrocuted, because at 0.5 amps, those things will pop off, and you'll still have current in the rest of the circuit, but that last outlet won't be powered. And the reason I don't put those in right away is because they are very susceptible to dust and moisture. So I'm going to wait until I cut the drywall out, because there's a lot of dust when you're using a roto zip to cut that out. And then I'll put the outlet there, but I just put it there so that I know where it is when it comes time. All right, behind the unit there, I've got the wires tied together. So the power up here at the ceiling fan box is up there, so I have no problem with power in this room. And I'll turn the light on because it is starting to get a little dark. All right, so let's see. Covered the TV and the antenna. Oh, I went out into the container and I found I had some blinds, and that one there is a 3 foot by 4 foot long. So I have to shorten it up by a foot, but it's perfect for that window. And then I had another one over here, which is a 27-inch long, but it's been cut down for a 24-inch. So this is a 24-inch wide window. Same thing, I'll put it in there and then I'll just shorten it because it's a 27 by 48. So I just shorten a foot off of it because it's 3 feet tall. And then I've got my blinds, and those didn't cost me anything. Those were goofs that came from one of my customers, and they gave them to me because they had no use for them because they were custom cut. All right, everybody, I think that covers my list for today of everything I had to cover. And I'm going to give this one a close up and sit down and finish watching the A-Team and have a cold beer, and then I'm going to eat some chili con carne. And I made a big pot of it, so tomorrow I'll have to get out some canning jars and my pressure canner, and I'll can a bunch of the chili, so down the line I have chili to eat and I don't have to fill my refrigerator up with leftovers. That's it, everybody. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up down there. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I had a new subscriber today from Germany. Welcome aboard, Germany friends. Don't forget to share with your friends over there and tell them about me. G Bear signing off.